Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So tonight's video, we're going to go over Cress as a 5-star, and of course his moves as well as what I think about him. Now the most important question of all is he hot or not?
He's too hot to handle.
Well, don't give yourself too little credit. I mean, after all, you're married to me. Anyways, out of the 4 Tales of free characters that we do get, this one is the only free slash zones that are in the game, and the only other one in global, of course, is Radius. So later on in this video, we'll definitely compare the two in terms of overall power and versatility. As you can see, his level 3 Valor Chant is actually not bad. Obviously deploys slash zone and power of all members for 1 turn. So he allows a really quick 2-turn setup, and he also starts with 1 over limit, and all the 4 Tales of characters do have that. So basically when they go below 25%, one of their signature moves turns into a one-time kind of a super finishing move, and it actually heals the character up to full HP, which is actually not bad against some super bosses. Now in terms of the moveset, he actually has a pretty versatile kit. He can actually support fire type units on a fire team with a fire slash attack, obviously medium attack only. However, it boosts fire attacks of all party members by 30% for 3 turns. So on most slash teams, I don't believe there's anyone who can actually boost it other than, for example, people's VC when it comes in to boost fire attacks. But just as a move on its own, not too many slash users can boast that. He also does have a fire slash AoE, large, and fire type resistance minus 30% for 3 turns. So again, not too bad, but I mean, if you are running a dedicated fire slash team or a fire team, you'll probably have another character who could probably do more stackable fire type resistance down either through VC or move. So I wouldn't consider this a must have. But that being said, he is still versatile enough that you can fit him on a fire team if you need to. Especially if you do a fire slash team where he starts with a slash zone and then obviously boosts everyone else's fire type attacks. He also has coil here. Max HP plus 20, physical resistance plus 20, so really minor type physical shield. I wouldn't consider using that unless you absolutely had to. However, he does have his 2 signature moves are a little bit more interesting. First of all, the Distortion Blade, slash and fire slash attack on all enemies with, it says fire type. Keep in mind, that does not boost your bar during fire zone, so keep that in mind even though it says fire type slash. And it also boosts all sword katana equipped damage by 40% for 3 turns for the whole party. So in combination with slash zone being that it boosts your team's damage by 30%, this is actually quite a significant boost and something that Radius does not have. However, keep in mind that it only boosts swords and katana, so if you're using axe users, especially some high-powered one like Renri OG, AS Renri, Kikyo to name a few, this will not boost that, whereas of course Radius's will boost everybody's at the end of turn. That's one other thing to keep in mind as well here. You can actually boost it during a turn and then activate an AF if you needed to, or activate that during the AF. His other spam move is the Demonic Tiger Blade. So notice that all his really powerful moves are non-type. So that's what I mean by not really fitting into a fire team, although he can be used on one. So self-damage, slash 3 times XL, boosts power and stackable up to 3 times. So that's a 30, then 15, 15 for a total of 60% increased power. And if you use the move over and over again, it actually increased damage. Keep in mind that this will actually, if you use it enough time, it will push him below that 25% HP limit, such that this move will convert into the Dark Blade. And I'll demonstrate that again later on. If you do activate Dark Blade for the very first time, you will have a little skit to watch on the lower right hand corner of your screen afterwards. Kind of like all those voice acting skits that we got through walking through the Tales of. So make sure you try to activate it at once, just to kind of have a little bit more of a treat in terms of watching Aldo and Cress speak to each other about that. So in terms of this, being that he is non-elemental, it actually does very well and has some advantages over, for example, Radius, where most of her moves are fire. So this is his board here, and you can see he only has 2 personalities, Swords and Tales of. Now in terms of Grasta, being that most of the most powerful moves are non-elemental, we went with the Power of Nothingness. Again, you can tailor the Grasta as needed, and note that if you do beat one of those new True Spirits, which is a harder version of the boss you have to fight to get Cress, then you can get his personalized Grasta, which you can equip as well. So let's come up for a spin. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. And I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So first of all, you saw the Rising Phoenix slash attack AoE fire, kills all weaker mobs that are weak to fire. And of course there's the Distortion Blades that boosts sword and katana users by 40% while doing 2 hits essentially, one single then one AoE. Now, let's see something a little bit more interesting here. We're going to do a 2-turn setup with an AF, starting with a half bar, and see what kind of damage we can do against the sandbag guy here. Obviously, we're not building for a full thing, not because we can't, but we want to just demonstrate the differences, because a lot of people are asking whether or not Cress is better, whether or not Radius is better, so on and so forth. Especially, you gotta doubt that, some of the new free characters are very powerful. And the first one here will do the same moves. You can see I'm using, obviously, Chaos Saber to kind of decrease physical resistance, and of course Quattro Drive all the way with combo attack from Violet, and then Demonic Tiger Blade. Now keep in mind that if you do speed up your team enough and you hit enough rounds, you will trigger that Dark Blade, and the animation is actually very, very slow. So it will reduce your overall number of hits in AF. So you can see the first one without activating that was 51 million. Now we're going to just repeat that again. And I'll just show you what happens when you start with a lower HP on Cress and then happen to have it activate during the AF. And you'll see it's actually a significant difference. However, I will say the animation looks quite cool. And the fact that you can actually self-heal himself full after that. Again, sometimes some super bosses will bring you down to very low life, and actually it's really nice that he can heal back all 3,000, and then of course he can do the same start, keep on spamming that Demonic Blade. So let me know in the comments what you think about Cress so far. One other thing I didn't mention so far is, even though we can compare the DPS of Cress as well as Radius, as well as their support abilities, bear in mind that having both of them is actually just as good. With some of the new super bosses, they can actually establish zone, and they can also re-establish zone and cancel your zone. Having 2 zones that are, especially one in the front and one in the back, you can kind of swap them so that you can have zone effectiveness or wipe their zone very, very easily. So it gives you a lot more versatility and flexibility when building a team. Also, bear in mind that Radius has a much different kit. She has a Aurora Force 2-turn, which is a 50% type shield. She has int and power down on a move when she's in slash zone, and she has a boost of up to 60% increased damage for all slash users, including axe users. Remember that effect happens at the end of turn though, so depending on when you set up, that's something to keep in mind as well. So if you compare just a 2-turn though, strictly speaking, you're actually getting a little bit less damage because Radius needs a little bit of time to kind of ramp up, only 40 million instead of 50 million, and the fact that you get that 40% boost with Cress makes him quite unique in that sense. So overall, in conclusion, it's great that the devs gave us a free slash zone. I mean, a lot of people were missing Radius because even my friend summoned 15k and did not get her. So having a free one does really make it easier. And let's be honest, any slash zone will help enhance all the other slash users on your team, especially some of the more noteworthy team combinations is the OG Elga, OG Renri, and Cress non-elemental super slash team. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.